Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Monday View with, of course, Matters Monday because art matters by Neil Gaiman because your imagination can change the world. The illustrations in this book were done by Chris Riddell. As you may remember at a couple of years ago we did a book called 100 Hugs, and we colored 100 days of hugs and colored every page in that book. This book was purchased for me by Ashley, and I am coloring it for her. I am almost done, and once I am done coloring this book, I will be actually sending it back to Ashley so that she can have a colored version. So that is what we're doing and why we're doing it. So, of course, today's view is the Milan colored pencils. These are excuse me, a large lead, so I do believe it's a 3.5 millimeter lead. A Milan company has been around since 1918. They do have a color name on them as well as a dipped end. And this is a 24 set. They do feel wax-based, but a harder wax. So they are definitely a layering pencil. I would not say that they're a great smushing pencil like a Prisma. But as you can see, they do color quite nicely. I have done the testing for the Milan pencils when I did the review for them. So if you want to check back through the Friday videos, you will find a full review of the Milan pencils. They did fail the water test as well as the smudge test. They did move a little bit with the chemical makeup of my hand, and they did move with water. They do a three-tone blend quite nicely. I was able to get orange and green out of the rainbow blend, so I do believe they both passed those. I did also get a bit of a purple here as well. The blenders. The blender sticks work just fine on them. I did find that the Derwent blender worked a little bit better than the Caran d'Ache blender. And I found that the white blended a lot better than either. Now the white was not a like a highly pigmented white, so it did not take that color down very much. I did find a small set of these on Amazon. It's only a 12 set. I will keep looking for the 24 set. These were purchased for me at an actual art store. So I don't have a link for them as of yet on Amazon. The colors in the set, like I said, it's a small set. It's only 24 pencils, are Arctic White, Tropical Yellow, Mustard Yellow, Apricot Pink, Mandarin, Watermelon Red, Strawberry Red, Camellia Pink, Blossom Pink, Bougainvillea Pink, Queen Purple, King Purple, Peacock Blue, Ocean Blue, Mediterranean Blue, Turquoise, Grass Green, Turtle Green, Sand Brown, Lava Brown, Earth Brown, Wood Brown, Elephant Gray, and Jet Black. Now, most sets have a huge amount of blue, even the smaller sets. Now, this only has really what I would consider a blue, two. The Mediterranean blue and the ocean blue. The peacock blue does have a little bit of a purple hue to it. And of course the turquoise has a green hue to it. So the actually only two actual blues are the ocean blue and the Mediterranean blue, which is fine. I'm actually pleased with that. I wish it had a little bit lighter of a blue, like a sky blue, but the white does bring that down to a good sky blue color. All right, so I'm going to zoom you on in and we're going to read the Art Matters as well as color that today. Of course, this evening we will be working in the Mystical Lands Chronicles, Book 2. And of course, on Sunday, I will be reading another chapter from that book. So we're going to just zoom you on in here. And the page that we're going to be coloring today, as you know, we colored the internet troll. And this one here says, probably things will work out somehow, and eventually time will take the sting away. But that doesn't matter. Do only do what only you do best. Make good art, which is a great way to think. You know, do what you do best. Do what you feel best at. And if you feel good doing it, then you're doing it right. All right, so let's start on her shirt. And we're going to start with Bougainvillea Pink. Bougainvillea. I know it's a flower. I can't say it, but I know it's a flower. I can say it at some point. It's just not today. All right, so we're going to go into our shadow areas here. I'm going to zoom in just a touch more. Well, maybe a lot more. So that you can actually see what I'm doing. Now, of course, remember this book is not a coloring book. The paper in this book is not made for coloring. So if you expect your pencils to work perfectly in this book, then you may find that you have some issues because they will not. There is another version of this book out, which is a hardcover version, and I have heard that the paper in that version is a lot better than the paper in the soft cover version. But again, it's Amazon printed and it's printed paper. It's printing paper. It's not made for coloring really, but I like coloring it. And I thought it would be a great challenge to color the entire book. And it's all Ashley's fault. So throughout the past year and a half, well, almost 2 years now, I have been reading and coloring in Art Matters every Monday because your imagination can change the world. And as long as we continue making good art, sometimes the things that are going on in the world don't matter, even in the art world. All right, so there we have the deep pink areas done. Now we're going to go in with our bloom pink. Now because I'm going to be coloring on the other side of this page, I'm going to wait to do the words on her shirt because I'm going to do them in glitter gel pen, but I want to wait until the other side is done, and I will test the gel pens on a different page and make sure that they're not going to bleed through the page, because I'd hate for it to bleed through the page and ruin whatever we're going to do on the other side. Now again, these are a harder pencil, so with harder pencils you need to layer that color up. You can't just press hard and mash it together like you can with some of the softer pencils. So make sure that you're using a very light touch. If you're coloring in this book with me, make sure that you have a very light touch, because otherwise you're going to take up the tooth of the page really quickly, and you will find that you're not able to put more than one color down at a time. Well, one color down on an area. And you won't get that buildup of color. All right, going back in with the Bougainvillea pink. See, I can say it. Right over top of that pink. And we're just going to bring those shadows into the shirt. Again, just using very, very light layers and building that color up. Also, having a really sharp pencil does help make sure that you can cut that color into the page a little bit better. So as you can see, that deeper pink is starting to show through. A little bit thicker. A little bit darker. And there will become a point where you will find that you can't add any more color to the page. And that's just the joys of the paper itself. Unfortunately, the paper, like I said, is not made for coloring on. So it's not going to have as much tooth as we would want to color on. All right. So there's our dark pink again, and now we're going back through with the bloom pink. So that was the Bougainvillea pink. Bougainvillea. Yeah, I'm just going to stop trying to say it. If I try to think about it too much to say it, then I can't say it. So if I just don't think about it, I can say it. All right, now we're going to go with our blues. So we're going to use our ocean blue and our Mediterranean blue. Excuse me. Still have a little bit of that congestion that makes me clear my throat a lot. So if I clear my throat, I do apologize. Sometimes it happens without me thinking about it, without me trying to do it. My brain just says, "Okay, you can't do this. You got to clear your throat." All right, so I'm using that ocean blue first in our darker areas. He has very skinny legs. Very, very skinny legs. All right. And then we're going to take that Mediterranean blue. We're just going to go over it lightly, bringing that color in. All right. Now for her skin tone, we're going to use apricot pink. We're going to put down the apricot pink first because there is not a heavy peach tone in this set, so we're going to actually use a bit of orange. So we're going to use a touch of mandarin to put in our shadows, and then we'll blend it with the apricot. To create that skin tone. And of course the sun is coming in on my back window behind me, which is causing shadows. Sorry. Alright, so now we're going to use our mandarin. Not using a whole lot of it, just enough to go into those shadow areas. In the contours of her hand. And then we'll come back through with the apricot and blend it in. Another thing that I have found with a lot of the different brands of pencils, the blender pencils work great on them, but as I say in my reviews, the best pencil to blend with, of course, is the white pencil or the lighter pencil of what you're using, because the wax balance and the mixture of the pencil is the same as the pencils you're using, which does make it a little bit easier to blend with. But sometimes you don't want to change the color of what you're doing. So, all right, let's do her hair. His. I'm not quite sure. It's not facing me. So I'm going to use sand brown. I think this one is the female. There's 2 or 3 different people that he draws in this book. Some are female, some are male. I think this one is one of the females. All right, and then we're going to use earth brown. For our hair flicks. Because her hair is going everywhere. I'm just following the lines he's already put in to create those hair flicks, because it's a very, very small area. Now we're going to go back in with the sand brown and just a little bit more pressure just to finish that off. It's a small area, and adding too much color will just make it look like mud. All right, now for the parchments that are flying around, we're going to use white and a little bit of mustard yellow and some sand brown. So we're going to start down here, and we're just going to do the edges with the sand brown. Where the shadows are. Very lightly. You can barely see the color. Again, the sun is coming in behind me, so my hand is creating a shadow on the page. So I do apologize for that. It was pouring with rain, and then I hit record and the sun came out. The sun was happy I was recording. dear. I forgot to turn off that notification sound. It's not a big deal. We all have cell phones. How many of you looked to see what that noise was? How many of you looked to see what your notification was? So I'm just going around the edges of each of these parchments that she has strewn all over the room, saying, okay, I'm done, done. I am going to go make good art because this is not for me. All right, and then there's this one up here. And there's one up at the top too, but I have to take out my take off my clip to get to that one. So we're just going to do that later. And then we have the mustard yellow. Another thing to remember with this book that the ink in this book is not made to be colored over top of. So if you color on one side of the page, you will find that the ink will transfer on the other from the back side of the page to the opposing page. So make sure that you put a piece of paper in between your pages so that it catches that extra ink and that extra color from the other page. Otherwise, you're just going to ruin the pages that you've colored or the ones that you want to color. All right, and then we're going to take our white. And we're just going to fill in those pages. Okay. Now for the walls, we're going to take our elephant gray and our black. So it's jet black and elephant gray. I was going to sharpen it, but I think I will leave it unsharpened. And we're just going to fill in the wall area here. My page underneath has slipped. So I'm getting a line. Getting a line that I didn't want. So I'm just putting down a base of the elephant gray. Now typically you would if you're not covering large areas in just a shade, you would do a little bit of a circular motion. And when I get close to small areas, I do go in a circular motion instead of just back and forth. But for the majority of the shading, I'm just going to go back and forth. And then I'll come back and fill in those little straight lines. All right. Make sure I'm still on screen. It's a small book, so it should not be off screen unless I'm zoomed way in. And of course on Saturday, just before my stream, make sure that you head on over to Emily Illustrator's Illustrator channel. She has a group stream happening for Joanna's new book with Barbara Colors and Claire. So make sure that you head over there because that sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, I will be streaming right after them. I will probably run the stream like a few minutes late, just so that, in case they run over time or anything like that, that I'm not streaming over top of them because, group streams are fun and I know a lot of you will want to see it. So now I'm going through with the jet black, filling in that shadow on the wall from the papers. And her. Like so. I'm assuming that the light is behind her because without having a visible light source, I always put myself as the light source. So that's why the light is coming in from behind her. I do that, otherwise I just don't know where it's coming from and I just don't know what to do. So it just makes it easier for me. Alright, so there we have our shadows in there. Let's do our pencils. I'm going to do this one blue and this one purple, just because. And then we'll do the boots. Well, the boot. One shoe and her sock. I gotta turn off the notifications, but I'm almost done, so. And then we're gonna do her sock. The same color as her shirt. Because, we gotta match. That's just what we do. I want it to match. And her leg here. And then we're going to take this one, which is wood brown, go figure. And we're just going to put in the door frame. Like so. And then we're going to take earth brown. We're just going to color that in. And then for our door, we're going to start with lava brown. Which is a fairly dark red, brown color. And we're going to go a little heavier here and around the edges under the doorknob. And at the top of the door there. Let's go down here a little bit. Alright. And then we're going to go in with Camellia Pink. There's not really a true red in here either, so I'm going to go down with the Camellia Pink. And again, just shading it, just filling it in. And then we're going to add the strawberry red just to give us a red color. Trying to build that color up to a red, a deeper red. Alright, and then we're going to use strawberry red, which is closer to a red. It's just got a little bit of an orange undertone to it. But adding that pink gives it more of a red color. And the pink gives us more of a highlight area. Just going over top of the entirety, all the areas that we've colored. The lighter areas will show lighter, of course, and the darker areas will hopefully look shadowed. Hopefully. Going around the boot, on the shoe. Like so. Now we're going to do the doorknob. So we've got our elephant gray and our jet black. Like so. Alright, and now we're just going to do this little parchment up here now that we can see it better. So we're going to use our sand brown. trying to get it flat. And then our mustard yellow. And then our white. And there we have it. And I'm going to zoom you back out so you can see a little bit better. Let's move this down a little. Oh, wrong way. There we go. All right, so there we have it. It says probably things will work out somehow, and eventually time will take the sting away. But that doesn't matter. Do what only you do best. Make good art. All right, guys, and we will be doing this one here next week. I thank you all very much for watching. Of course, always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to any YouTube artists that you enjoy. This is the end of Monday View for the Milan colored pencils. It is a small set of pencils of 24. They do move with water. With the chemical composition of my skin, they do smudge. They do very well do a three-tone blend of colors, blending them together from dark, medium, and light. They do a rainbow blend where they do create the greens as well as the orange and the purple if you so choose to create purple. They do work well with the blender stick, but not as well as they do with the white or the Derwent. The blender, the Caran Dash blender does not work as well as the white or the Derwent blender. All right, guys, with that, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe, everyone. Until next time, bye-bye for now.